Morning, everyone. Lisa Finkel from Finkel Pottery coming to you from Prince Edward Island, Canada, on the east coast of Canada on a very rainy day. I'm in my kiln shed with another kiln opening. Pretty short one, and there's a lot of repetition in this one, so I may fast forward through some of it. But I did start playing with some spectrum glazes, so there will be a few of those in here. I fired the kiln to about the cone 5.5 with Camille Hoffman's firing schedule, which is basically just a slow cool schedule. There's lots of great slow cool schedules out there, so whatever works for you in the end, right? Most of the clay I'm using is actually all the clay I'm using is Pottery Supply House clay. They're mid brown, which is like a smooth stoneware. It's a 505, I think, and I don't know if I might not have any white clay in this one. If I do, it's 515 Pottery Supply House. So I did want to give one shout out. Someone had made a comment after one of my videos talking about Cial Pottery, or Cial Pottery Supply, sorry. They are in Quebec. So if you happen to live on the east coast of Canada, they're a great company. So the positives to them is service is really good, really quick turnaround. Prices are great. Like their Mayco glazes are really, really reasonable. Some of their raw materials are also really reasonable. Negatives are they don't have a huge range of glazes. So they don't carry Spectrum, they don't carry Coyote. I think Mayco they don't carry Amaco, but they do carry Mayco. So I just want to give a shout out to them because they do really good service. And if you're on the East Coast, shipping can be a bit cheaper because it's closer to us than some of the other suppliers. But all the suppliers I've dealt with in Canada have been awesome. So maybe next time I'll talk about a different one. But I do order a lot of stuff from Cial, and they're always really, really quick. So that's really nice. So PI Girl mugs. So this is my studio white inside. Alabaster on the bottom, and then alabaster on the whole thing, and then I put Spectrum soft red. So here's the lesson learned in pottery and not taking notes. The first time I did this was much pinker, and I think what happened was the first time I did it, I did alabaster to here, and I did soft red with a little bit of an overlap. But this time I put the soft red over the alabaster, so I got more of a white look. But that's still really pretty, and you get a little bit of pink happening inside. So there's a tiny hint of pink there. So, you know, those are the lessons we learn, especially me, because I'm very bad for not taking notes. So there's a few of those, and they're all pretty well the same. But the nice thing is that a really pretty blue kind of came through there. So I did have a few with Norse blue, but this is the Spectrum soft pink. I'm certain of that. So there's another one. So for all of them, it's more bluey with a hint of pink than pink. Which is too bad because I have a lot of pink lovers out there, but hopefully the hint of pink will make them happy. Okay, so first mug. So this one is first off, I want to give a shout out to Ceramica Transfers. They're a little Canadian company. So if you like using transfers, she's got some pretty cool and funky transfers. So I tried her for the first time, and I did some little creature mugs. So this is one of her transfers, the bunny rabbit. I think I've got 3 different creatures in there. And then I just did a clear glaze inside because I was going for a really rustic look. And this was my first attempt at Spectrum. And I did write this down because I wouldn't remember. So the bunny. Okay. Yeah. So I did, I have some burgundy glaze that's been kicking around my studio forever, and I'd gotten it from Pottery Supply House years ago, one of their studio glazes. So I've been trying to think some ways to use it. And then I did a little reactive red, a band of reactive red. And then I did sangria on the top with a little bit of reactive red over that. And I got some really interesting colors. Like I didn't put white in there, but look, or cream, but something reactive with something else, but that's really pretty. So this is my first attempt at Spectrum glazes, and no, it's not, I'm sorry, I used soft red before. But I'm looking for some glazes that are reactive and like to run, that are a little less expensive than the Coyotes that I love. So Spectrum glazes, check out the prices on them. They're really, really reasonable. Oh, here's another creature mug. So once again, clear inside. Isn't he sweet? Little bear. And this, of course, is Winterwood to about here. And I did it on the handle. And then on the top, I did Sangria, Spectrum Sangria. You get a lot of variation. I think they call these floating glazes, meaning there should be like sort of two glazes playing together. And you can see that here. I think it'd be really cool on some texture. So I'm going to play with that next a little bit. But so far, so good. The last one is my Fox. This one I am not as pleased with. It looks patchy to me. I may throw some more glaze on and put it back in. So the Fox was deep sienna speckle from Amaco on the bottom. In the middle, there was textured kiwi, and then the top was autumn purple. So the autumn purple just came out a bit patchy, and I just think that's how the glaze is designed to act with texture. So I don't think it was the glaze. I think it was the applicator. It was me, but that's okay. So anyway, I think I'll just throw on a little more glaze, but really I think it turned out pretty regardless. And I love that deep sienna speckle, especially in the fall on that brown clay. It's just so rich, so fallish. I learned some other lessons here. What's this? This one is, I got a Harry Potter rolling pin, and this is just a little Harry Potter emblem, and this is the textured autumn. So what I think on this one is, I had hoped that the glaze would stay in the recesses and really pop. It did somewhat, but it burned out quite a bit because I left a lot of glaze on there and just had the brown, like bits of the brown showing through. So next time I probably would just put like manganese wash or something like that on it instead, and just put wax over it and then dip, or paint, or whatever it is I'm doing, and then the clear inside. But I really like that autumn purple. The colors are really cool on it. It's very interesting. I think in a big bowl with some texture would be so beautiful. This one is pearl white, I believe. Yeah, pearl white on the top, and textured kiwi on the bottom. So the textured kiwi is like this pretty muted green, and I'm guessing on a white clay it would be much more vibrant. So this is my first go at this, and I've only done it on dark clay. And once again, it's kind of hard to see the pattern. It's a little gnomey. So next time I probably would play with that a little more too. But it's cute. Like it. So this is the exact same one, pearl white. Look at that pearl white though. I don't know, are you picking up the blues on the camera? So although it's a white on the dark clay, it's coming out, and just clear inside, it's coming out with some blue tones. But that reminds me also of, oh, there's a pearl in Coyote. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but Antique Pearl maybe? And it does the exact same thing on brown clay. It loves to pick up some blues. At least it does for me. Everybody's kiln is different. But I like the blue and the white. It's quite pretty. Like, there's so much happening compared to just a plain old white, right? And the bottom of this was passion red from Coyote, which usually is really bright red, but it came out kind of pinky with this firing. So that's interesting, with a little Nomi again. So that's that. This one, I hit pause. I put a little pearl white on the rim, and then over that I did reactive red. So I just wanted, I was playing. These little mugs, the little cups are great to do samples on, because, you know, sometimes you don't want to do a mug that you spend a lot of time on. And it just, the little applique said my kids have paws. So I'd gotten, got a few new rolling pins that have basically appliques built into them, and you just cut them out. So, and this one, did I write this one down? I don't know if I did. I think it might be, yeah, I think it's this one. So I did textured autumn, 2/3 down. So, and then sangria on the rim, overlapping. So that's kind of pretty too. So I think there's lots of possibilities with this glaze. I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing with them. So far, I think my favorite, I am loving this on the bear mug. I think that's just so cool. And I think the bunny one as well, I really like that. So much happening there, eh? So anyway, that's it for I think the rest of the kiln does not have spectrum glazes, or well, one piece might have a little. And I put in a comb pack on the middle one just because I wanted to see, sometimes your middle shelf can be a little bit cool. So I wanted to make sure I was getting to temp. And that's the 5. And the 6 is just starting to bend. So that would be like a hot cone 5, maybe a cone 5.5, which is really what I was going for. Little flower tray here. So this is Amaco Deep Sea all over, and then Amaco Seaweed on the rim. And I have to say the main reason I went to a slow cool program, or one of the reasons anyway, was anytime I was using Celadons, I was getting pinholing. And this has, like you can see, there's no pinholes in this. It has, now everybody's solutions are different. I do bisque to an 04, so I do bisque to a hot temp. Which helps too. But I tried that first and it was not fixing it. So that solved my issue. Fall is coming. First little pumpkin. So, Deep Sienna Speckle, Amaco. I had like this much antique copper left in the bottom of my jar. So, because it's discontinued. I'm sure some of you have heard that. And I don't use it a ton, mostly because my firing schedule does not get that nice crystallization. I would have to fire differently, which I could, but I haven't. But anyway, so I've got antique copper, the last little dregs of my bottle, a little textured kiwi on the leaf, and then just I did a little band around of the autumn purple of Spectrum. And I think that is the last piece with Spectrum on it. So just a little pumpkin. I had big plans to make a lot of pumpkins this year. I probably made, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 last year. So far I've made 2. It's funny when you feel like you have to do something, then all of a sudden you don't do it. So here's another little PEI Girl mug that should be pink, but is only slightly pink. But you know, whites are so hot right now, I think that will sell no problem. People love white. Couple of test tiles. Let's see if I can remember what I tested. Oh, okay, this is a little patchy. So this, funny story, my pink glaze, my studio pink that I've been using forever, I made up a new batch and I was getting no color, like none, 0. I did some reading. A few people talked about that they've changed some of the supply chains for certain chemicals and that can affect your color. Because the recipe was the exact same as I always did. And it was that pink from Glaze. So it was either use the bucket like a clear glaze, which I didn't really need, or, so I just threw in, and I don't love it, but I could probably use it for something. I don't know. I had some mason stains, so I just thought, oh, the hell with it. So I threw in, it was, I don't remember the exact names. One was a red and one was, I had a little bit of a purple, I think. And I just threw those in together. Probably should have maybe just did one, but I was worried I wouldn't get any color. But you know, maybe with some white straight, I don't know. I'll play. I just hate to throw out glaze. It's a big expense. The other thing I did on this test tile, and I don't know what I think about that. I think I had a little movement. See how there's a little movement in the back? So what I wanted to test was, I have a studio clear glaze, which is a fine glaze, but I'm starting to do a little more painting with the Amaco Celadons. So if you use Amaco Celadons, you can almost use them as an underglaze, and then you put the mixing clear over the top and nothing moves, like because it's all the same base. But painting, I'm always trying to avoid painting on, so I thought, well, if I could dip and clear after I paint the colored Celadons on, I would save myself a lot of time, right? But so I just did a dip in my deep sea, I think it was deep sea, and then I dipped it in my clear, and that little bit of movement is worrying me. So I think for now I will stay with the Amaco mixing clear, because I do not want to wreck a bunch of pieces because of that. The last thing I have on this shelf are napkin rings, which I don't know if anyone else is gonna, I've been making a lot of these, I love them. If they don't sell, I'm gonna have a great collection for my own dining room. So this is a little bumblebee. And it just sits upright because you leave the bottom flat. So I dipped it in my studio white on the bottom and then painted it with marigold Celadon Amaco. So that's a really pretty yellow. So I back, this is the alabaster, which is Mayco, Mayco alabaster. And then this is Norse blue on the top, over top of that, on brown clay with white inside. It didn't run as much as I hoped, so I may be putting a little flux on this and refiring it. So one, I got no color, and then the other one I got too much color. So it is the way, right? Thank God for refiring to solve a lot of issues, for sure. And 4 of these are wedding gifts that my daughter wanted from me. So it's got a person's name and wedding date on the bottom and my thing. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. This was kind of a tester kiln. There wasn't a lot of stuff in here that I was like, oh my gosh. But often I have kiln openings that, you know, I'm used to seeing all the stuff in it, and I get the results that I want. So sometimes you got to push it a little bit, and then sometimes you forget to take notes and your pink comes out white. So that was my fault. But anyway, overall it was a good kiln opening. I think my favorite piece from the kiln was this one right here. So anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoy the videos, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.